Hello. So I'm going to go over pathogens. So when I say the word pathogen, you concluded something. What did you conclude? I know what I concluded. I know what you also concluded. You concluded something with character. Why did you do that? Because the Trinity is omnipotent, omnipresent. That word pathogen is a thing. It has a Trinity behind it, or in it, or something like that. It's not the Trinity, it's just a thing, but symbolically it has a Trinity. You thought of some kind of character. When I said pathogen, I'm talking, the words of pathogen, the words that make a pathogen are words of the Trinity. So, pathos is part of the Trinity. That's one thing. So that's why you didn't think of the word, that's why you didn't think symbolically of the Holy Spirit, because it was already in the word. You get me? You feel me? I don't know if you do. You probably do, though. What about the next part? Generative. What is generative? To y'all probably think logic is generative. It is not. Logic is lology of the logos. Logic is lology of the logos. So, logos is generative. So that's the other one. That's the other part of the word pathogen. The word pathogen has the word pathos and logos in it. So you didn't need to think about the logic and the energy behind the thing. You only thought of something with character. Now, you also probably thought of a bad character. You thought of the word I said the word pathogen, and you thought something of bad character. It's not. A pathogen is not inherently bad. I am making a pathogen. What was the first book I was going to write called? The first book I was going to write when I came out of my vision, and I was like, I'm writing a book. It was going to be called My Pathogen. My YouTube channel might as well be labeled My Pathogen. I'm going to make a playlist one day called My Pathogen. And it's going to be something that's supposed to spread throughout the culture like a pathogen. But it's going to be healthy. It's not going to hurt people. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a healthy one. And it's going to change the world. That's what I'm doing. I'm making My Pathogen. Actually, I was making the book My Pathogen before I even had my vision. Because I was realizing that they weren't ever going to make a federal agency for me. I was never going to get that extreme power. I was just going to walk down to DC and they were going to create a federal agency for me. I don't fucking think so. So I was like, fine, fuck them. I'll write a book. I'll write a pathogen. I'll create a pathogen. That will do it. And it will do it. When I ever write a book called My Pathogen. Anyway, so you concluded something with character. A pathogen. What is a pathogen? A pathogen is something that builds energy, that generates energy. That generates shit. What is shit? SHI or SHIH is a Chinese concept. This concept basically means potential energy. So what a pathogen does, it generates the Holy Spirit. It generates potential energy. It generates a good position. A powerful position. Doesn't have to be a good position, it's just a powerful position. And it does this not through force, it does it through spreading. Because it knows the receptors, because it knows things like that. I don't know if I know the receptors, but I'm very fucking aware of the receptors, and I can trigger them all. So, what is a pathogen going to look like in the future? pathogens are gonna overtake vaccines. They're no longer, it's no longer gonna be like you go to the doctor's office and you get a vaccine, and you get a shot in you. There's gonna be pathogens spreading around the world. People are just gonna create pathogens. So, what was I trying to do when I was making Trump's Toolbox Agency? I was trying to get it so that I had a thing so that people could learn how to do it in like a library or like a Radio Shack. Trump's Toolbox Agency was basically Radio Shack. Trump's Toolbox Agency was basically Radio Shack, and I was gonna like just let people buy the supplies for subsidized supplies for wicked cheap, and they were just gonna start building on their own and creating and getting used to it. That was Trump's Toolbox Agency. But I was like, that's never gonna happen. Or I don't have time for that. Or whatever. I just started doubting it. And then I was like, well, I can make my own pathogen. I'll make my own fucking pathogen. I'll make a real pathogen. I'll make a word pathogen. Because I came to the awareness that I could do that by making an ism. It's what I'm doing right now. I'm making a pathogen. That's another one of my goals. The latest video, 335 or whatever, talks about what I'm trying to do with y'all. Trying to teach y'all. Another thing I'm trying to do is build a pathogen. Design and develop a pathogen. D&D pathogen. Cool. That's what I'm trying to do. So let's go more into what a pathogen, what the world is going to look like when we're just spreading pathogens around. Well, we better have firewalls. We better have biological firewalls. You know, you don't need to know anything about the future with biology. We're already doing it with computers. It's the exact same thing. And, like, same thing with words. We already have the defenses for how to deal with people and their hateful words. People have already come up with defenses for that. It's like saving face and communication skills. You know, I'm not talking about something new here. I'm not talking about something new. It's just the costume. The costume of what I'm talking about is something new. That's why I'm trying to break everything down into symbols. So that we can do anything. It doesn't matter. We don't even have... I'm doing it for the pathogen. I'm doing it for bioeffectory. I'm doing this for bioeffectory. I'm doing this for the pathogen. That's the costume I'm trying to cloth you in. But at the same time, I'm also not doing that at all. At the same time, I'm trying to teach you all symbols. Like ethos, logos, pathos. Ethos, logos, pathos are judgments on symbols. But I'm trying to teach y'all symbols. I'm trying to give you laws for the symbols so I can disassociate you and stuff like that. But let's go back to the pathogen, because I'm going to label this video pathogen. Like, I'm actually going to title it pathogen this time. So, what else about pathogens can I tell you? Let's talk about a biological pathogen. Biological pathogen. There is so much meaning in there. What's the only thing that has character in that saying? Bio. So the character you assume, the character you concluded when I said biological pathogen, the only costume, the only constriction on that sign, on the symbol that emerged in your head that you are seeing as a sign right now, the only constriction I put on the word biological pathogen for character, for ethos, for my sign of character, ethos, logos. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to do something right now. It's too late. It's literally too late for me doing this. But this is for you to show to other people. This is some magic right now. I'm gonna do some magic. I'm gonna put you down for a sec. Check this out. Biological pathogen. Project onto that sign. Use the force, young one. Blah, 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 blah. So. What is a pathogen? Let's talk about the biological pathogen. A biological pathogen is some kind of thing. It's a thing with ethos, logos, pathos. This thing can trigger receptors. If you know nothing about biology, if you know nothing about computer programming, you know a little fucking something about words and communication. You do. If you understand the words just coming out of my mouth, you understand a little bit about triggers and receptors. And you know when I'm saying something that is triggering, something that you receive well. So a biological pathogen is something that gets into a population. A pathogen is something that gets into a population and spreads because it has receptors for it, because it is triggered by it. That's what a pathogen is. Pathogens are not always bad. Christianity, probably a fucking pathogen. It infected the head guy of Rome. And once it infected him, the whole Roman Empire became Christian. Like, Sun Tzu probably infected the Mongols. Buddha infected India. And then Buddhism infected the American 60s. Shakespeare is an infection in American classrooms. Why? See? He's not bad. Shakespeare is obviously not a bad thing. I mean, unless you think he's boring and hard to read. But he has infected the classrooms of society. He is a pathogen. His books are pathogens. Because they trigger something. They are well received. A pathogen is something, a biological pathogen is a character, is a living character that because of its pathogenicity, it builds up energy. It generates energy. A pathogen is something that generates energy. Like, shit energy. Like, and when I say shit, I'm talking about the art of war. I'm talking about Eastern Chinese philosophy. You should look it up. You should figure it out. It's a hard thing to find, guys. If you start looking for the word shit, you're gonna have a bunch of problems because it's in Chinese and that's pinyin for Chinese characters. So good luck. If you want some real homework on getting something of immense value for an American, it is to look up the Chinese concept of shih. It's spelled S-H-I, S-H-I-H. S-H-I or S-H-I-H. It is an immensely good thing. But if you do not feel like looking up shih, look up the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the same thing as shih. My symbol, this symbol, my judgments on this symbol, no, my judgments on this sign, so check this out. Ignore this, ignore this, ignore I'm gonna put you down again. Or put it another way. Ignore this. Ignore this. Ignore this. What do you have left? You have this. My judgment on that sign is the Holy Spirit, is Shi, is energy of interaction, is style of interaction. So, if you've watched my videos that have 2s at the end of them, the ones where I first realized that there's a conspiracy going on, or the world is just so, the Savage Garden just has so well-defined roles in it that it's amazing. If you watch those videos, you'll see that I come to the realization that it's harmful to implant prejudices. Well, too fucking bad! Sorry, I have things to do. I gotta teach y'all about pathogens. And you gotta look these things up on your own. And I'll decode the symbols for you. I will. But it's harmful for me to implant prejudices, so be fucking skeptical. Be fucking skeptical of my judgments, okay? I'm serious, please. Don't take what I say to heart. Be fucking skeptical. Alright, so more about pathogens. I don't know what else I have to say about pathogens. They are things that have style, and they generate things. They can have any character. A pathogen is quantum. It could have any type of character. It could come out in a book, because I'm creating my pathogen. It could come out in a sentence. It could come out in a piece of artwork. Anything can be a pathogen. Like, what else is there? Viruses on a computer. Viruses on a computer, probably pretty pathogenetic. Genaic. Not pathogenetic. Pathogenic. Probably spelt the same way. Man, I'm so mad at myself for showing you that, for judging that symbol. I'm so mad. I hate that Kant said, don't implant prejudices. Because I think they're super helpful. But you just have to remember, or else you're going to take it out on other people. Which I do recommend, just in a comment section on a forum or something. What was I saying? You just be skeptical of my judgments. They're probably pretty good judgments, but still. Judgments are judgments. They are not good for people who have just lost something, who are losing something. So, what I did with the character symbol, the thing that I judge to be ethos, the thing that I judge to be the interface, the interactive, that thing, that symbol, that was healthy what I did there. And it's probably healthy that I judged it afterwards, because then we can have a conversation about what I judged and you judge. That's probably pretty healthy. What I did for the Holy Spirit, what I did for Shi, that's not healthy. That is me triggering you, a pathogen. That is me saying something that is pathogenic. I'm using pathogenic things when I say Holy Spirit and when I say Shi. I'm saying pathogenic things. Bing Fa, Bing Shi. That's pathogenic things to a Chinese person. If they understood what I said. I don't know if they understand what I'm saying. But it doesn't matter because, you know, I don't know who watches my videos. Anyone could be watching my videos. People could be downloading my videos and I could have no idea that they're viewing them. I could have way more views or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna check the time. 20 minutes. I can ramble on for 10 more minutes about pathogens. No, I really can't. I've definitely explained to you what a pathogen is. Pathogen. So pathogen is a word with a trinity. Because it's a word with a trinity, you thought about something with character. You thought about something that was a unit as well. Because a trinity is also a symbol. The trinity is also a symbol. You also saw a mirror into yourself. These are all judgments. Sorry. Okay. That's it. That's a pathogen for you. That's what pathogens are. Good luck. I'll see you.